Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome. Today I am going to show you how to get the cheapest possible flight, and it will literally save you hundreds of dollars. Make sure you watch all the way to the very end, where I will show you how I cut the price of a ticket in half, and I've got the proof. Hey travel family, I'm Lindy and I make videos to teach you traveling tips to inspire you to get out of your comfort zone and show you how to chase your dreams. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. You can see all the places I've been to around the world. Like I said, today's video is all about how to find cheap flights. I don't know anybody who goes online and says, show me how to pay the most for plane tickets. I know I'm always trying to save money, and I'm sure you are too. Tip number one is to buy your tickets 6 to 8 weeks out from your desired travel time. If you are looking 6 months ahead of time, you might end up paying a higher price. And also, if you're waiting to the very last minute, you might also be paying a higher price. Now, there's a caveat. Sometimes you can get some really good deals last minute, but typically there's a sweet spot of about 6 to 8 weeks. So that's going to be kind of your prime time to buy. Here's a question I get asked a lot too. What day should I fly? Tip number 2. Fly on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, maybe a Saturday. A lot of the plane tickets and seats are filled up by business travelers. They're going to be flying on Mondays. They're going to be flying on Fridays. Possibly, they might be flying on Thursdays. Weekends are a lot of times when families are going to be taking their trips. So what does that leave? Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tip number 3, use your travel points, frequent flyer miles, credit card rewards to accumulate bonus points to use for future travels. Now, this doesn't help you right away. This is something that you would have to use in the long term to find flights. So if you are someone who loves to travel, this is something you're going to want to do in the long term. It's the airline's way of getting you to fly their airline over and over again. And every time you do, you gain miles, and then after a while, you turn those miles in to get a free flight. Tip number 4 is to take advantage of the airline's mistakes. And you've probably seen this in the news. Airlines have a very bad reputation for overbooking their flights. It's something they do because they're counting on people not showing up for the flights. So they sell more tickets than they actually have seats on the plane. Their mistake could turn out to be in your benefit. So let's say you do buy your ticket and you show up to the airport and they say, this flight is very full. Is there anyone willing to give up their seat? And in return, we will give you a travel voucher. This depends on if you really have to be to your destination or back home by a certain time. If you're not flexible, then this doesn't work for you. But if you are flexible, just a little hint. If you kind of let this go to a bidding war, you could make this into a really good situation for yourself. As the flight gets closer and closer, those airlines are trying to get rid of you as a customer because they need those seats. And I'm sure you've seen those horrifying videos of people getting pulled off of the plane. So why not use it to your advantage? So let the airlines sweat it out a little bit. Let it get closer to the flight time, because what they'll do is they'll start bumping up those travel voucher prices. I actually just recently read a news article about a lady who ended up getting $10,000 from the airline in travel vouchers. I don't know what they did, what kind of mistakes they made on their overbooking, but she ended up getting $10,000 in travel vouchers. I wish I had been on that flight. Just saying. Take advantage of their mistakes, I say. Tip number 5, take the bad flights. I know, nobody really wants to, and when you're looking at it and you're planning ahead of time, nobody wants to show up at the airport at 3 in the morning, but you know what? If you are looking for cheap flights, you gotta do it. If you wanna save money, you take the red eyes. You take the flights that nobody else wants to do. If you have to sleep in the airport, sleep in the airport. If you are really pinching pennies, just do it. I'm telling you, it will be worth it when you are laying on the beach. Tip number 6, complain. Only in the right situation. Again, this is taking advantage of when an airline screws up. I'm saying this with caution. Don't complain about things that the airline has no control over. Don't call up the airline and complain about the weather and the turbulence that you experienced on the flight, because I'm sorry, but no airline can control the weather. What I'm talking about is the customer service that you experience. If a flight attendant spills a cup of hot coffee on your lap, call up the airline and tell them what happened. And I'm also not telling you to lie. You better be able to document what happened, but use it to your advantage, and you may be able to receive some kind of compensation in the form of travel vouchers. Tip number 7 is to use those booking sites and apps that everybody tells you about. Just do it. It's worth it. There are several. I'm sure you've heard about them all. Of course, everybody knows about Expedia and Orbitz and Travelocity and all those big ones. There's some smaller ones that I've had success with, and the one that I use the absolute most is Skyscanner. No, I am not sponsored by them. This is not a sponsored video, but I have had my best deals I've found on Skyscanner. And Skyscanner, what it does is it searches across all the booking sites. So you're not booking on Skyscanner itself. So it's kind of like a meta search engine, if that makes sense. Now that you've made it to the end of the video, tip number 8. This is where the magic happens, people. Tip number 8 is to be flexible. What I'm talking about is to be flexible with your airports, both your departure airport and your destination airport. I'm talking about being flexible with your destination itself, and I'm talking about being flexible with your dates. Not the person you're dating, although, whatever works for you. No, I'm talking about your dates of travel. Now, I know not everyone can be. Sometimes you have to fly to a certain destination on a certain date, and in that case, maybe you can use some of the other tips that I mentioned earlier. But the magic happens when you can be flexible in these other areas. I was able to save half on a ticket to Iceland. I'm gonna take you inside my computer to show you how. I just did it.
So the first thing that I'm doing is going into Expedia, which is how I always used to book my flights, and I still use it occasionally to actually book my flights themselves. And I've never been to Iceland, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in as my destination. And I'm choosing a departure date way ahead into the future, not following my advice. I'm choosing to fly out on a Sunday and flying back on a Saturday, again not following my own advice here, and searching. And one thing to keep in mind here is that it does include your taxes but does not include your baggage fees here, so we need to keep that in mind when we are looking at our prices here. And one thing on Expedia is you can see right away what the baggage fees are by clicking the drop-down menu here. So the price here that we found on WOW Air, which is a budget airline, and we can see that the baggage fees right here are going to be, let me just pull it down here, the baggage fees with WOW Air, again, like I said, we can go to their website to confirm what the actual cost is going to be. But if we do a carry-on, and I do have a video link above and below for how to pack a carry-on so you don't have to check a bag and pay even more. It's going to be $39 each leg of your flight if you pay at the time of booking, and $100 if you pay at the airport. So of course you're going to want to do that at the time of your booking. And that's for each leg of your flight. So we're going to have to add that into the cost of our ticket. So I'm going to pull up my calculator here. So we've got the cost of our flight itself, that $670 that you see there, plus $39 for our carry-on one way and $39 for the other way. That is a total of $748 US, and to me that is way too much. So I am going to skyscanner.com now, and again, my departure airport is Chicago. I'm staying with that. And I am checking nearby airports just in case, like I recommended. Sometimes you can find a better deal by going to a nearby airport. And just in this scenario, I am still going to Iceland. And instead of checking a specific date, what Skyscanner has as a great feature is clicking cheapest month. This is going to check all of the months that are coming up to see what is the cheapest to find you the best deal. If you are flexible with your dates, this is the best option for you. Instead of selecting a specific date, search the cheapest month. Now it's going to look across all the dates coming up and tell me what is the cheapest month. And let's see, in my case, at this point in time, April is the cheapest month for me to fly to Iceland. And I'm selecting a return flight and a departure flight. And I'm picking just 2 random days to fly. Cheapest ones, of course, $260. Seems a lot better to me. Let's see what we've got here. Again, you can find a tutorial for exactly how to use Skyscanner. Link above and below for that tutorial. And again, it's WOW Air. Same airline, so it's really comparing apples to apples here. The only thing that's changing is our dates, and I can go ahead and select it, and with Skyscanner I can book it straight through the airline, and I already know what the cost of the baggage is, so I can just go ahead and clear that $748 because who wants to pay that? And instead we can put in $260 for the flight, $39 for one way, $39 for the other, and $338 is a lot better.
I don't know about you, but is your mind just completely blown? Yeah, I know. And if you want a full tutorial on how to use Skyscanner, link above and below to my video tutorial on Skyscanner where you can have more information on how to use that. Again, thanks for watching. If you learned something new or if you just think I'm nice, hit that like button, share it, leave a comment below. What is top on your bucket list? Where is one place that you have never gone that you would really like to go? For me, it's Greece. I have yet to go to Greece. That is, as of right now, filming, I have not been to Greece. If you've been to Greece, what do you suggest? Think about subscribing if you are new to my channel, and follow me on all the social media platforms. I'm Super Travel Mama on all of them, so it makes it really easy to find me. And again, I thank you for watching. Bye.